What have I done with my life? Hello there, gamers everywhere. I'm Scorpion92, and yes, I really have played for 130 hours of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And what have I gained with that? Hmm. Um. No. Um. Well. Well. No. A lot of endings. Beware of spoilers in this video. A lot of spoilers for the main story and some of the companion stories. Yeah, three different endings so far, with at least two of them being somewhat similar, which is, well, kind of on the point for a Dragon Age game when I think about it. But the main thing here is that I've experienced three different endings with the game, and sure, I could have done it all of them with the same character, basically, because everything comes down to a choice at the end, which these choices, well, in the base game you could say you have two choices. But if you have completed enough of the story, enough of the side quests and all of that, if you have completed a specific line of side stories, I should say, then you will have a third option available to you, which is, well, I guess would be the best ending of the game, which I actually achieved on my first character. So yeah, it's pretty easy to achieve. But I wanted to check out the two other endings, and at the same time I also wanted to experience the two other classes in the game. So 130 hours later. Yeah. And as much as I find a lot of things with the game lacking, I do enjoy a lot of things with it too. Am I happy? Well, not really, not in general, but with what I've done in the game, sure. Meh. I mean, the only reason I did it was to experience the different combats and some. I do like the different faction elements, because the unique interactions you can have with certain NPCs and companions because of your faction is, it's a bit rewarding in a special way. So in some cases, in many cases actually, I do enjoy the unique interactions depending on your faction, because it does add something special to the characters that you're actually engaging with. I do also enjoy the combat, and as much as I said in my long video, my 50-minute video where I did a one playthrough later kind of review, the combat is not Dragon Age. It's very action based, it's very speedy and so on. It's not Dragon Age, but it is a good combat system, I think. I do enjoy the combat. It has some flaws, of course, but overall I do really enjoy the fast-paced combat and the free-flowing combat that is in Veilguard. I also loved the exploration. Now, of course, exploration does die down a bit on the second and especially the third time through. But finding hidden things and the puzzles and also some hidden quests is really rewarding, and I did enjoy that very much. And the game did have a tendency to like almost hold your hand during some of these puzzles and secret areas, which I honestly wished I liked the game more, but because of the hand holding like that, it's it lacks certain things. I remember, for example, Dragon Age Origins, which didn't hold your hand at all. Uh, if you were in a dungeon or at a quest and you had a puzzle to solve, well, good luck. You better solve the puzzle or you might die. I especially remember one also from a even older BioWare game, mainly Knights of the Old Republic, where if you open the box or a certain box that you get from the hut on Tatooine, I can't remember his name, the hut on Tatooine at least, he gives you a cargo to ship to a certain location, and it's a box, it's a prison, basically. It's a mental prison, some kind of that. And if you open the box, you get transported into it and you get to chat with this Rakatan prisoner who has probably been imprisoned for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And you are challenged to a riddle game. And basically, if you lose, if you don't answer correctly on a riddle, he will take possession of your body and you essentially die. You get trapped in that place forever. But if you win, well, you get to go free. And wow, the first time I encountered that, that was something completely new to me. I was about 13 or 14 years old when I played that, and it was mind-blowing to me. I had never encountered a game where I could actually die because I didn't succeed at a freaking mind game, basically. Oh well. I did survive that and I moved on with my life. Same for Dragon Age Origins. I had some difficulty with some of the puzzles, but I managed to get through that and moved on. In this game, well, the puzzles are very simple and there's been a few puzzles where I've actually had to think, but I've never been in real danger, which it takes away a little bit from the puzzles. I'm not saying that every puzzle needs to have a danger to them. Some of them just need to be a mind-melting experience. But the game and the puzzles do lack a certain quality when it's basically all the same. Just complete it, get a reward, move on. Complete it, get a reward, move on. Instead of having this like a try to complete it and try to survive kind of aspect. Another thing that, well, I didn't quite like was the cutscenes that dragged on and the companion quests that dragged on, and even though I do like the fleshed out stories and characters, the both NPCs and companion characters, I like them for the most part, but it just takes so long to complete them. Each of these playthroughs have gone through each of the companion storylines and done all the side quests. I should mention that. Yeah. Oh, and another thing with the companion quests that they completely missed is what the messages are in those quests. Because you have 7 companions and each of them have their own completely unique storyline. And 2 of them are basically the same. It's just that one is about pronouns and one is about when something new and earth-shattering comes into your life. Somewhat literally in this case. And one is much more related to the overall audience, I would say. You decide which one, and the one feels shoehorned in, which breaks the world building in a big way, in my humble opinion. Now the 2 companions I'm talking about is Tash and Harding. I like how Harding's story ties into the overall lore of the world and in some ways reveals really cool things about the dwarves, though also a bit confusing when you really think about it. I might talk about that in a later video I have planned. I've already talked a lot about the things surrounding Tash and, well, a lot of other things in the game, so I won't be going over that again, nor will I be going over a lot of other things that I have mentioned in my long previous video. But I do want to mention the combat again, because in my first playthrough I played as a rogue, the second time as a warrior, and the third time now a mage. Now my rogue was a ranger, so I used bow and arrow mainly. The warrior used my warrior used two-handed weapons, and my mage mainly focused on the staff and I guess poison damage. The combat for all the classes felt very smooth. It felt very good. It felt awesome almost to a point. I felt very powerful in a lot of ways, and well, as much as the warrior got flung around a lot more than the mage and the ranger, well, I have to say that the mage was my favorite, at least of the three. Warrior, I do want to try different builds with the warrior, but then again, I have to play through the game again, and as much as I like the games, I need to take a break from it. As much as I like the game, I need to take a break from it. I basically know the game outside and in now, so yeah. But I do want to do one more run, but with a speed kind of run, you could say. I've already started on that with a fourth character who is doing only the main quest. Only the main quest. Just to see, firstly, how long it takes, but also what kind of ending I get. Is there a different ending? I don't know. Anyway, again, the combat isn't Dragon Age, but I do like it. The mage is very different from other mages. For any other fantasy-themed action-adventure game, it would be perfect, this kind of combat. But through three games, well, 3 Dragon Age games, I mean, they have had a very different approach to combat, and I give points to the developer for trying something new. And it worked for God of War 2018, but that was a very different kind of game. It had a very different start to what it then became in 2018. The next Dragon Age game, I do hope for more in the series, of course, because I did enjoy this game enough to want another one. But I want them to go back to the older combat, the more tactical approach to combat. Maybe BioWare can try this new combat in another game, but we'll just have to see what they cook up. Now, over to what I was trying to say earlier, but came off a little bit here. Mage was probably my favorite because it was a mage, unlike most other mage classes in the game, or in any other game that I played, I mean, both Dragon Age games and others. The mage class is nimble, powerful, and a good variety of spells and paths to take in the skill tree. It has a variety of AoE or single target kind of builds you could do, and one weapon was for mid-range and one more was for long range. You can also say that the weapon for mid-range was also a close range, because the quote-unquote heavy attack, or the armor breaking one, was where you swung a dagger. Now, Poison Mage was also something I've never seen actually before. I've never seen a mage using poison damage abilities. Most games just go for the elements, just the basic elements like lightning, cold, fire, so on. Now, what about these endings? Well, does Dragon Age have bad endings? That's what I want to figure out here in my mind, because when I was writing the script I was thinking, oh, these endings are very basic. Well, basic in a sense, I guess. They're not bad endings, or none of them are bad endings. One of them is just better than others. One is like the worst, and one is the mid, and one is the best. But does Dragon Age have truly bad endings? Except for your character dying and you have to start over, because yeah, if you die then the world is going to shit. But Dragon Age has less good endings, but straight up bad. And I'm talking about when the bad guys win and take control over the whole world, basically. But I can't I can't think of an ending in any of the games where that can happen, actually. Like, you becoming an evil tyrant. There's no such ending. I'm thinking like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. You could go light side or dark side. Two endings. Light side, of course, was the nice ending, and dark side was the truly bad ending where you started taking over the galaxy as a Sith Lord. But Dragon Age doesn't really have those kinds of endings. Everything ends the same. Either your character dies and saves everything, or your character lives and saves everything, or your character, I don't know, does something and something and something and everything bad dies anyway. Same for the Mass Effect games, I would argue. They also don't have this truly bad endings. Not that well, they have Mass Effect 2, they have this really bad ending where everyone dies, of course, except Joker. There's that. But you really have to struggle to get that ending. Now, this game certainly doesn't have that kind of bad ending, but the best ending is, of course, the very nice and sweet, while the other two are less nice, but they all end the same. The veil being closed and no demon invasion. Woohoo! You know, that's something to celebrate. But I do have, with this fourth character I have played a little bit on, I will see if there's a fourth ending that is truly terrible, where everyone dies or something. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm a little bit excited to see, actually. I don't think it was gonna take too long. I started the fourth character and made him a mage, another mage, of course. He's gonna be focusing on a little bit different path than the one I just made, but let's see if we can get the worst ending of all. Now, is there anything more to say? Not really. There isn't much more to say that I haven't already said about the game, really. Multiple playthroughs, but not much difference between them, honestly. That's also a little bit sad. I do enjoy the classes and I do enjoy a lot of things, a lot of elements in the game, but I've done some different decisions in each of them, like not only the endings, but also throughout the game, choosing different outcomes. But as much as I like the differences that are portrayed in these side quests and such, they aren't really impactful, not to the overall experience. Some small change that did a small thing, everyone still loves you, basically, for the most part. So there isn't this kind of earth-shattering big decision that is gonna change the whole game playthrough. The only thing that will change is how much you complete of the side quests, or a certain line of side quests. You can skip all the side quests except for one certain part. One or two certain side quests and get the very best ending. Well, that's all I got for you today. That's all I got for this video. I'm in Swift92 and have a great life and hope to see you in future videos. What are your thoughts on Dragon Age the Veilguard? I know that many people don't have much nice things to say about it, but I'm open to the... I understand why people don't like the game. There are certain aspects that are difficult to look past, shall we say. Bye bye.
It is done. The world owes you a debt, both for defeating Elganon and for bringing down the Veil. I am sorry for this final betrayal, but I will do what I can to minimize the damage. When you see the old world restored, please, Rook. I do not wish to fight against you.
The Veil's not coming down on my watch.
It is over. You could never stand against me alone. If you will excuse me, the final enchantments require a delicate touch.
I am standing against you, and I am not alone. But you will be. The Veil needs to be tied to the life force of an elven god. And now it is. Dread Wolf.
You sneer at me as though you understand. You are mortal compared to you, to your infinitesimal existence. I am a god!
With Elganon and Gillenane dead, and the Dread Wolf locked away in his own prison, it looked like one of the biggest stories this world had ever seen was finally drawing to a close.